Welcome to the Stacy A. Cross Show. I am Stacy A. Cross. There's no E in my name. Every Friday at 8 a.m., I'll be coming through. We're talking health, we're talking wealth, and we're talking happiness. I'm a believer of freedom, personal growth, and your journey to success. So go ahead and share, subscribe, listen to this show, because it's going to be an amazing one. As always, you can find me at www.thecomfortkillers.com. Thank you so much for being here. Let's go. Boom, shaka, laka. It is June 1st. I am so happy to be here. I am in Philadelphia. It is rainy, gloomy, it's hot. It is humid out there, but I still love it. I love all of it, all the different seasons and for all the different reasons. June 1st, a friend of mine, Utam R. Miraz, gave me a call. He rung me all the way from UK and he said, the new moon is coming in May 30th, the flower moon. And this moon is the end of that solstice and going into summer solstice. So Stacy, do everyone a favor, because it's going to be the season of harvest. It's going to be the season of reaping. Okay, so you're moving into, I'm telling you, summer months, and in this new quarter is coming up in July, but that's not the quarter we're talking about. We're talking about moving with the seasons and the energies of the atmospheric Ethereum. Don't get scared away. Really, it's a great time to analyze and align yourself to your true self. And that's all it is. Release all the things that you want to release. Burn the paper. Put the paper in the ocean. Rip the paper up after. Dissolve the paper in water. But really take some time to release everything, because it comes over to a new energy. And in that energy, it could be heavy if you're bringing over all of this old baggage. So you're in luck. It is June 1st, okay? Do it today. Take a sheet of paper out and write down all the things that you want to release that no longer serves you. Now, what kind of things could that be? You could release fear of change. You could release fear of, success, fear of wealth. A lot of people have fear of success and they don't know. And think about this. Let's say that you really want a new car, and that new car is on your mind and you're like, I'm going to get this sucker. And I'm with you. Get the sucker. But then in the same breath and in the same thought, and you're really thinking about, man, that old car, man, every time you go into it, you start thinking about how much you hate that car, how much the dents make you mad. You're thinking about the time that the accident, when you got that dent. You're thinking about how it's not good on gas. You're thinking about how it doesn't start sometimes, but you really want that new car. See, what you're doing is putting two thought processes out there. You're streaming two thoughts. You're streaming something of desire. You want the new car. You want to, you see yourself in it. But then at the same time, and you're aligning this lack, this scarcity, this ungrateful thought over here. You cannot manifest in a thought stream like that. It doesn't align. It's like having one foot in the door of success and another foot in the door of poverty, in the door of a poverty mindset, in the door of lack, scarcity, in the door of you can't, in the door of fear. So you can't have both. This thing will just go ahead and default to what's more powerful. And being that that scarcity mindset is way more powerful than that success mindset. Why? Because you've had that mindset for so long, right? You've been walking around with that dented, that foggy, that heavy mindset for so long that even when you're like, okay, man, I'm going to desire this other thing, it's really like you have 2 feet separated, one in this new you and this other one that can't, that's so comfortable that they can't get out of the old you. So what June 1st is, and what my friend Utam Mirage was saying there was that, hey, release it and walk in that new you, Stacy. Release it, don't look back. Release it, get lighter. Release it, and just do it and allow. And that right there it came to me at a perfect time because there were some things I was toggling, It's really a scary thing. Not gonna lie to you, and I understand why or how people don't get what they want. They just can't manifest the thing, right? And it's because they have these two contrasting thoughts. They have these two contrasting beliefs, and one's got to be weaker, bro. It's either go or don't. You can't be in the middle, okay? So just use that information, write down a list of things and make it long because there's a lot of things that you want to release. I released about 3 pages of it or maybe 4. There's a lot of things that we need to release and we've been holding on to, keep going back to for comfort, for fear of the unknown. Well, today is going to be all about, one word, consistency. All right, consistency with your personal development and how easy it's going to be to get overwhelmed. And we're going to do that in the health. We're going to do it in the wealth. And we're going to do also that in the happiness category and the happiness segment with my comfort killer, Raven Hodge. Raven hails from Connecticut, and just watching her growth, watching her journey has been amazing. Not only because I had so much to, input with my material, but only because she was so consistent, and that thing is beautiful. You rather someone that's consistent on your team, consistent over time, I'm talking about, not just when it feels good, just consistency, raw freaking consistency. Confucius has a quote that I love, and Confucius says, it doesn't matter how long it takes or how slow you think you're going, do not stop. Okay. The moment you stop is the moment that the building of momentum, it doesn't even matter. The turtle is moving and nothing happens until something moves, right? Nothing moves until something happens. No, nothing happens until something moves. And what are you doing? And look at your personal development plan. Look at your personal growth plan, whatever you want to call it, your self-help plan, whatever is more comfortable for you, right? People don't even want to call it self-help anymore. I guess it just has a stigma on it. I remember looking up in 2008, self-help, that was my type in Google, self-help, because I knew what I was thinking. I knew what I wanted to do, right? And what popped up in Google? First thing, think and grow rich, 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 think and grow rich. They made a whole song about it. The song popped up, okay? Read this book, read this book, read this book. And I was like, man, okay, so I'm going to follow the personal development plan that everyone put you on, right? The think and grow rich, the write out, even me, I've been guilty of this, write out 100 gratitude. I feel these things now. Okay. Feel and grow rich, bitch. Okay. No, but we're going to talk about consistency. We're going to talk about what a real personal development plan looks like in all segments today. But the most important thing is overwhelmed. Do not get overwhelmed. Listen when Raven talks about how hard it was because she was trying everybody's thing. She was doing all the courses. She was just jumping here and there. And I understand that because when you're ready to change and you are super activated, man, you feel it in your belly flap. You got the motivation. You just eat anything in your path. You're like, give me it. I'm going to eat it. Give me it. I'm going to eat it. You're like freaking Seymour, from the Goonies. Is that the cat's name? I hope so. But yeah, it's just, you got to simplify this personal development plan. So this episode is very important, and I hope that it reaches you at a time that you need it. And if it does, I would love to hear from you. hello@thecomfortkillers.com. Again, I'm Stacy A. Cross. You're rocking out with me 8 a.m. every Friday, baby. And I come live to you from Philadelphia. Wherever you are listening, whenever you are listening, it is always the perfect time. So let's get into it. We're going to get right into the health segment after this. Peace. If you're ready to get your word and your message out about your product, service, yourself, what you're doing, and you want to garner support, well, we want you to sponsor a episode here on the Stacy A. Cross Show. We're an internationally syndicated show and can be found on all the major podcast outlets such as iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, and much more. Get the attention that you rightfully deserve, and by me. Who else but to promote and get your message out there better than Stacy A. Cross? And there's no E in my name. Email us hello@thecomfortkillers.com and get started right now. Health, baby, health. So I've been riding my bike literally now for, my bike, about 2 weeks. And literally, I thought, no, there's no changes, I started off pretty slow, people whizzing by me. And I go about 15 to 19 miles in one session. It did take me an hour and a half the first couple of times. And then after that, last night I did a ride and it was an hour and I burned 1K calories. And I put that down on my measuring stat sheet, just kind of keeping tab. Just want to get better, But it's so funny because I started off just picking up the bike. First, I wanted this, I had a budget of $200 and I was like, man, I got to get me a road bike. I remember riding my road bike. I mean, I'm not one for running, like going out and jogging in the streets. I want to get to that. A huge goal of mine is by 40 years old to do a triathlon. Okay. I'm going to keep that. Let's keep that right here. But there's tons of work that I need to do. Okay. The first thing I need to do is lose some weight. I can't run, bike, swim, carrying around all this excess, all this extra. And, I thank my body every day. I'm not one of those that, oh my God, I can't look in the mirror. And, if you're approaching your health with just hating yourself, you're not going to get anywhere. Again, we talked about those 2 foot in the doors. You want this new body, you want this new feeling, you want this new energy, but you hate yourself. You hate how you look. You hate your skin. You hate your face. You hate looking in the mirror. You hate that clothes. So you really have to understand that, because that is really just, let's peel that a little bit, unpack it, because the thought process that you have going in it, the energy that you have going in it, it means how consistent you're going to be with it. Because if you don't see, and I did not see any changes day 1, day 2, day 3, I was like, what? I even started going to the gym and adding on a bike ride in the night. So in the morning, the gym, in the night, a bike ride. And the bike ride, I'm sweaty. I am like, so I'm just trying to level myself up, but I'm not going in there like, oh my God, I just, I got to do it for Instagram. I got to do it for this. Like, there's a lot of people out there that are just doing it, for the gram, or doing it for someone else, or doing it because they think that that's what they're supposed to do. Do it for yourself. Do it because it's coming from a place where the next level of your growth involves health. The next level of your growth involves the all-around feeling good. Like, just being able to move about, be flexible, have the energy that you need and you could call upon. You don't get tired when you go up 2 flights of stairs. It's a better deal for you. Okay. It's for you. And people recognize that. So I've been going in for about 2 weeks and I just realized I'm like getting better. And the first time, of course, people whizzing by me, my seat was a little too low. I was putting out extra energy trying to get the pedals around because my knees, it was a big thing. And there's one guy, he rides next to me on a trip that I did a few days ago. He rides next to me, he pulls up next to me. I have my headphones on, I have my hoodie on. He's smiling next to me, riding his bike. And he's like, hey, if you put your seat up, it'll be easier for you to pedal. And I was like, Oh man, thank you so much. Yeah, I figured something was off, but I'm thinking because of my height, so then that whole trip, I started looking at other people's seats like, oh shit, that girl is shorter than me. Her seat's way up in the air. I'm like, oh man. So I've been actually working harder to get farther, when it could be an easy process. So yesterday I had my first ride with the seat at the right height. I came home, did that. Put some air in my tire. My ride was spectacular. The best I've done. Now my time to beat is 1 hour. But I do stop at the art museum by the Rocky Steps and just kind of glare. So, but my time for riding is to beat 1 hour in that mile category. But I'm doing it in bigger gears now. I'm feeling more comfortable on the thing. I'm standing. I got no hands, So I'm getting back to the point where, wow, I could get to the next level. And this is for myself, again, feeling great. But as a byproduct of this thing, I've noticed that I'm sleeping so much better. You're sleeping better. You're waking up refreshed. Your mind is clearer, especially with my bike rides, going out there next to the Schuylkill River, the huge lake around, it's like a 15-mile thing, around Philadelphia, and then going towards the Rocky statue and the steps. It's a beautiful scenic route. So I'm getting all these beautiful byproducts. So when you talk about health, you're going in for energy. You're going in to feel better. You're going in to get to the next level of yourself. You're going in to lose weight. You're going in, but you're not going in because someone says, hey, you know what? You should do CrossFit. Yo, this is the thing. You see a couple bodybuilders on Instagram. Now all of a sudden you want to be a bodybuilder. Okay. But start at the pace that and I know myself. I know, hey, I'm not going to get out here and go running down Main Street. That's just not my thing right now. Okay. But I will ride a bike. So I'm going to get what suits me, to get in it and stay with it. That's why we quit. We quit because we're doing things that we don't love. If you find the alternative things to get you that result, and that's what personal development is, an alternative thing to, all these beautiful byproducts to get you a result, then you jump on it. So my bike ride has become a ritual now. Like I'm always looking, how can I just got some lights for my bike. Like my bike is so pretty. When I'm riding it down, I'm taking care of it. Got a little water holder, the water bottle holder. At first I didn't have that thing. So I used to ride the whole thing, mind you, burning more energy because my seat was low, like, getting the ride done, but I had no water. So I was like, man, so now I'm just like, getting better, thinking, doing things that help me, So, personal development is about consistency. Bottom line, it's about jumping in it every day and doing a thing or two, it's not about because the success, my friend, is the daily things that you're doing. That's success. Success, my friend, is not a destination, because by the time you get to the destination, you will go into destroy. And I should probably tell you about destroy. Would you like to learn about destroy? Well, this is what happened. There's a circle, and let's say it's a circle for fulfillment, or it's a circle for goals, or it's a circle for personal development. So you start on let's say the left quadrant of the circle. Quadrant's a square, but left side of the circle, and you go through a create process. So you create this new goal and you're like, yes, I'm going to do it. And, let's say the goal is to get a new job. The goal is to get a new job. So you're at it every day. You're pouncing around. You're sending the resumes, you're going to the interviews, you're making new strides in this, you're meeting new people, you're networking, you're really focused on getting a new job. You're not one of those to be like, oh my God, there's no work available. There's no work, there's nothing available. You're like, bro, but where are all these people going? There's millions of people going to work every day. There's jobs available. Okay. So you get the new job and you're like, wow, so you created this goal, and then the next in the circle is persist. So we have, and the half of the circle is destroy. It takes up a whole half, and then one square. I wish I knew one quadrant is, so it's, if you put a line down the middle of a circle, you got two halves, right? So then one half is the total destroy, and then one little section is create, and then the section above that is persist. So now you got the new job. You're loving your new job. Damn, I had to explain that. I confused myself. Hopefully I didn't confuse you just now. You got it, right? Okay. So you created and you got the goal. So that's create. So out of create comes you're inspired. You are motivated, right? It's like this spiritual thing, and you're ready for it. You're accepting, you're allowing. So you get it now. And now it's time to persist. Out of persist, comes these things where you're just like, okay, I got it. I'm good. I'm feeling good. I'm gonna maintain it. I'm doing this thing. It's really happening. Yeah, I'm right here. So you're persisting. So really, the time that it takes to create could be long, but the time it takes to persist, depending on, that's, people at a job for 20 years, they're persisting. But what's happening here? They're actually going into destroy. Now, destroy is when you're coasting, right? Destroy is when you think you got it good. And sometimes you even get jealous in the destroy phase, because you're looking at other people maybe going up, or, other people, what they're doing. So that create, persist, destroy. And here is the key. You can stay in destroy literally forever. You could stay in that destroy space literally forever if you don't have any new goals. If you do not have any new goals, you will immediately be in destroy. Now think of a lot of people that are in that phase forever, because they have never created any new thing to look forward to. They're not growing. They're not learning. They don't want to do anything. They don't have any hobbies. They don't have any, aspirations. So they stay in that destroy mode for a really long time. And it could really burn you out, because you could get into despair, depression, all these lower energy feelings that cause you to, hate yourself. And that's what I'm talking about. So for me, like I just mentioned, a goal of mine, by age 40 or something, being that I'm 19 right now and I have all this, by age 40 is to, rock a triathlon. So now I'm creating that body. And then, when I'm actually training for it, I'll be persisting. And then once I do it, that's it. I'll be in destroy mode. Okay. Unless I create a new goal. Okay, I would always be like, oh, you remember when I did my triathlon in 1985? You know those people? Oh, I did that. Well, this is my last feature, my last award, my last thing that I did, my last, certification, my last acknowledgement, my last thing. And, I had to learn that in a hard way, because I always kind of said, oh, wow, look at all these people that I interviewed. In year one, I was like year one, year two, look at all these people. And then I'm like, oh shit, I gotta get out of that. Like, I gotta stop even talking about that. Like, that's done. Like that'll put me back in destroy mode. I need to focus on new Stacy, new growth, new tools, new rules, and just do my thing. But yeah, you could see how this cycle is really the only cycle of life, the cycle to fulfillment, because you always have to create a new goal. You always have to be striving for something, because as humans, we want to strive for something. We want meaning in our lives, because it would be a boring life and it wouldn't be worth living. So when you attack a goal, you're attacking for the right reasons, you're attacking for the right byproducts. But then you also know that you have to put another goal behind it as fast as you can, because you'll be in the destroy mode. So biking for me has been fun. A couple people already said, hey, Stacy, you're looking good. And I'm like, well, really? Yeah. I'm just like dancing around, but I feel good. And that's the most important thing. And out of the feel good space, you could really create other byproducts. And that's what it's about. How many byproducts can I get from doing this one thing? Yes, it's going to be painful. Yes, it takes sacrifice. Yes, you have to be consistent. Yeah, you got to do it even when you don't want to. Yeah, you're going to have to do it when you don't feel good, just to remain consistent and keep telling yourself, because what that's building is self-discipline on following through. So all these beautiful byproducts you're getting from remaining consistent. Consistent is a big word in personal development. When I get back, we're going to talk about consistency in wealth. I am Stacy A. Cross, and there is no E in it. Stay tuned. If you're ready to get your word and your message out about your product, service, yourself, what you're doing, and you want to garner support, well, we want you to sponsor a episode here on the Stacy A. Cross Show. We're an internationally syndicated show and can be found on all the major podcast outlets such as iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Podbean, Spotify, and much more. Get the attention that you rightfully deserve, and by me. Who else but to promote and get your message out there better than Stacy A. Cross? And there's no E in my name. Email us hello@thecomfortkillers.com and get started right now. Hey, so wealth is a thing that if we don't have it consistently in our personal development plan, then we could watch it go away as fast as we can. Okay, as fast as your eyes could allow you to watch wealth disappear. Now, when we talk wealth in this, in the health, wealth, happiness, we're not just talking going out there and getting a side hustle and making it, Amazon, FBA, and Instagram, putting some ads to it. We're not talking about the hustle theory like Gary Vee wants you to go hustle and go to yard sales. We're not talking about that, even though that's fine. And we may, right? We may, because, in the first episode where we started the transition from health, wealth, and happiness, instead of just me talking and blabbing off, we had Thelonious C. Jones, and we're talking about building wealth for truckers. And that's just about how to change your mindset, really, about about really what you could do passively while you're on the road driving a truck. If you're a truck driver, you need to listen to that. Okay, Health, Wealth, and Happiness with Thelonious C. Jones, and we're talking to truck drivers specifically, but anyone really, to think in terms of passive income, to having your money work for you. It's a mindset thing, because if you don't get the mindset clicked on, create, persist, destroy, you don't get the mindset clicked on, you will never be able to accumulate wealth. And even if you do, it's going to be the one struck luck that I was doing in the casino, or whatever sometimes dirty money, whatever gets you there the quickest in a most shortcut route, or cheating people, or not being ethical in business, whatever it is that'll get you the shortcut. Okay, but that shortcut may be short-lived. So we want to be able to change a mindset first, and that is the foundation of all personal development, is changing that mindset, and then you'll get better. So with wealth, I was listening to Reverend Ike, and I just found out about Reverend Ike, and it's amazing to me because being a reverend in the 1970s, 1980s, spitting like he was spitting, I'm talking about getting people acclimated to not being hung up on money. And there was and I'm going to get this recording for you so you could hear it. He was being interviewed, and I'm telling you, the interviewer was trying to get him, oh, you're a reverend, you shouldn't be speaking about money, you shouldn't come in with your Rolls Royce, you shouldn't have nice things, and it's like that scarcity mindset where you think that someone should not be wealthy, should not be teaching wealth because you're in a certain position. Like Mother Teresa was a very wealthy person. Matter of fact, she was the marketing genius for the Catholic Church. So it's even bigger. She had full accounts to go exactly where she wanted to go to help the people, and to think you could help way more people if you have a wealth conscious. Okay, so we want to open your conscious, open your awareness. So I want to thank, first of all, Perso for she visited me. Perso from Fresh Level Pro. We did so many things together, a lot of videos and everything. She checked that out on my YouTube, and she was a part of a lot. And so she comes to visit once a month here in Philly, and we sit and we talk. We pick out a book to read. We go and discuss the book. We have some coffee, have some lunch, whatever. But this time we spent watching Reverend Ike. She's like, Reverend Ike? I said, no. But then when I saw him, I was like, wow, he's teaching a whole mass of people to visualize. I mean, in a church setting, okay? To close your eyes, visualize, see yourself on a stage, you be, do, have. And when he said that, you could be anyone you want, okay? You could do anything you want to do. You could have everything that you want. That's the be, do, have approach. That's the approach that I love. That's the approach that backs my personal development plan. So it's amazing to see that, but it's also, I knew that there was going to be a lot of opposition, being that the consciousness in the 1970s was not that. I'm watching the people in the crowd, and the people in the crowd are like, they're doing it, but you could almost sense like, it's new to them or it's weird to them. And because they're used to the hot rah, we're in church, let's talk, But the beautiful thing about Reverend Ike is that he backs his talk with stone cold verses from the Bible, because you're not supposed to try to keep a poverty mindset. No one. And when he said, I'm running God's business, and God's business is rich. God's business is wealth. God's business is maximum beauty, everything. Like, seek the kingdom first and thou shalt have everything. I know I'm butchering that line up, but that's, this kingdom meaning seek who you are. Seek that you are everything. Seek first that you are the magnet, and everything will come to you. So I want to play some Reverend Ike here. And I want to shout, rest in peace to him. I think he did amazing work. I'm so a little distraught though that I'm just finding about him, but better late than never. Reverend Ike was so ahead of his time, and definitely I'm not one of those people like the pastor got to be the poorest one on the block, okay? And then teach you how to be poor. That's the mindset that he's in the consciousness that's he's leaving or she's leaving in the church, is that, hey, you got to be poor because poverty is godliness. Well, really, it's the total opposite. You are on this earth and you should be able to acquire and should acquire and could acquire everything that you want. Riches, the beauty of it, living lavishly. Why not? You help way more people. It's the poverty mindset that got people in this whirlwind. Before I jump into this Reverend Ike, and then we're going to jump into this interview, this conversation with Raven Hodge on her happiness and her, journey through personal development, and that will finish out our show. But before that, here's one thing that I took away from Reverend Ike, and I'm using it on a daily basis, and it's so conscious now that I, thank you, because it's helped me out. He says, hey, listen, stop saying you spend money. Stop saying you spend money. So I'm like, what is he going to say? Invest? He's like, there's a better word. Okay? It's a better word. Stop saying that you are spending money, because if you look up the word spend, or if you just know it off the top, spend means that there's depleted. There's nothing left. You've emptied the reserve. It's gone. You ever heard someone say, hey, I'm spent. I'm just done. They're done. They're beat up. You're ready for a nap. So he says, stop using that word. And it's what you're saying, okay? You know, when you give, when you pay for something, when you pay your bills, when you hand over, when you exchange money, you're going to say, I'm circulating this. I heard that. I was like, ooh, boom. That's so dope. I'm circulating this. And what he means by that is what? Once you circulate something, it comes back. It multiplies and comes back. So imagine people now, right? In that consciousness, they're paying their bills. Okay, they paying their bills, service rendered. Okay, they're paying for something. They're paying for gas. They're paying for groceries. They're paying a debt off. Hey, I'm circulating this. It's a whole different mindset, and the thing is amazing. Let's listen to some Reverend Ike, and it's gonna be taken out, and then we're gonna open up with a good person in personal development, good comfort killer. And if you want more information, I want you to jump on the comfortkillers.com with anything. If you want to sponsor a show, you heard it there. Email hello@thecomfortkillers.com. You can find me on all my socials at Stacy A Cross on everything across the platforms. And if you're loving this show, let me know. I love when you let me know that you're loving this show. It's like a ham. It's like this dude in the ham radio, right? Who's listening? Who's listening? Anybody out there? Anybody out there? Anybody out? You know what I mean? It's like, bro, come on. You know, you're liking a few pictures on it. Take the time and let someone know and give positive feedback. Every time you come across someone positive, give positive feedback. We're so quick to be like, I don't like this. I don't like that. I did this. You know, Thelonious, I know I'm jumping over, but I'm going to get that Reverend Ike out. But Thelonious C. Jones, a good friend, and, you know, we have a few business deals going, and he's my partner in business, partner in crime. And he puts out so much value on YouTube. I mean, he really lets everything out on YouTube, and he's just a warrior when it comes to real estate investing. He's just a knowledgeable person, experiences through the roof, and he's a good guy, man. That guy is so down to earth, humble, but also he wants to help. So he'll say something, and he'll be like, you know, show me another real estate person that gives you this reel or this and that. And then someone will email him this person, you know, you're taking the time to try to dethrone someone. You're taking the time to try to say, hey, listen, this is that, that's that. You know, I forget what it was. It was something that was so amazing. And all the comments were tip top. Oh, I read an article. I wasn't watching. I read an article, right? Listen to this. I read an article on one of my favorite person's blog, right? And the article was going in to say how it was something very interesting, intricate. And they did all of this thing and they put the quote, and then I guess they quoted something. And all the comments were like, thank you so much. This is awesome. And one person, it was 1985 when he won that, not 1989. Bro, are you kidding me? Get off the internet. Get off the internet and get yourself your own personal development plan, because you see, some people, when they see things, they only see what they need to tell you that you did wrong. You see what I'm saying? They cannot see anything else. They're looking for something to see. I'm surprised I didn't get anything back yet in my email that says, hey, Stace, you have 4 missed typos in your book. You see what I'm saying? Because people will read your book just to find your mistakes. People will listen to you speak just to hear you fumble and say, ha, you fumbled that. People will read your book just to see, hey, you know, what was she wrong on? I have a math problem that's wrong in my book. In fact, I said there was, I forgot what I said, how many hours was in a week. In one part it was right, the other part was wrong. And I'm surprised someone didn't reach out to me yet, because I'm going to tell them, fall back, burn my book, okay? Burn it. Because that's what you really want to do. And that's what you're 1 foot in the door, 1 foot outside, new self, old self. And you still can't align yourself to a well-being stream, because guess what? You walk around with your antennas up looking for something wrong with someone else. And that's just the wrong attitude, buddy. So let's get into this Reverend Ike. I know you're going to love it. And then we're going to come right back with Raven. Peace.
Now, whatever you are, whatever your situation may be at this point in time and space, you are that, and you are experiencing that because it is your idea about yourself. I am my own idea of myself. You take, for example, the amount of money that you may have at this time. The amount of money that you have perfectly matches your idea of yourself. That's funny to some of you, isn't it? I want to say that again because I like this kind of shock treatment. The money that you have exactly matches your idea about yourself. And if you want to have more money, for example, and we love to talk about money because everybody who comes to one of my services, wants more money. That's why they come here. If you want more money, you must get an expanded idea of yourself first. You must think of yourself as one who has more money. You must take the limits off of your financial thinking, and then you'll have more money. You will be led into the ways and the means of having more money. For as a man thinks of himself, so is he. But I'm here to say to you today and to announce to you today that heaven is within you. Heaven is not somewhere else, sometime else. Heaven is within you now. And when you find the heaven that is within you, then you will find yourself in heaven. And unlimited living is one way of saying heaven. When you're free to enjoy life, to have the good things of life, and to share the good things of life.
Raven, Hodge, thank you so much for being my guest here on the Stacy A. Cross Show. How you feeling today? How you feeling? Tell us where you are, how you feeling, and who you are.
Well, I'm in Connecticut. My name is Raven Hodge, and a little bit about my background and what I represent. I represent all of those people who never felt like they were worth it, who have been through hell and back, and keep going for vacation sometimes, but continue to rise. I never give up. I love to hear no, because when you tell me I know or I can't do something, I'm just going to push harder and prove to you and show you who I am. I haven't always thought like this. It's been a long road. I struggled with, post-traumatic stress disorder. I was diagnosed later on in life, and I went through a lot. I suffered a lot before I actually got the help that I needed. And then just through that whole process, became an alcoholic, drank heavily from the age of 14 until I was 28. I couldn't seem to really get it together, but through that, I did manage to, finish school because I thought that's what I needed to do. Everyone goes to school. I need to go to college. I need to get this degree. And just in the last couple of years, I realized that the real education that I need, and that's going to take my life to another level, can't be taught in our education system. And so I started to go ahead.
No, keep going.
So I started to think, I needed to surround myself with different folks. Like, I need to meet different people. So the first contact I had with this, kind of radical personal development was through Eric Thomas and Breathe University. Met a lot of great people. And through that platform, I met individuals that were connected with Stacy and the Comfort Killers. And I found what resonated with me is that, one, Stacy is very interactive and you can actually, she's somebody you can reach. If you reach out to her, she's going to respond. And she doesn't elevate herself to a point where it's like, well, I'm too busy or I'm too big to reach out to the people. And becoming a comfort killer and getting out of my comfort zone every single day, you know, has been the best, most painful experience in my life, but it's elevated me to a different level, and I just want to keep rising.
Oh, Raven, your story is it resonates with me because we both had something that was primarily in our physical world that we felt like this thing is holding me down, like alcoholism, PTSD. That shit is real. You know, going through childhood issues and concerns, these things are real. And no one in school, like you said, in the education system, shows us how to deal with this. Like, you know, in fact, it shows you how to, you know, go in the corner and shut your mouth and figure it out. Like, you don't need to talk about it. You don't need to just stop. You know what I mean? So, you know, I dealt with a couple different things. You know, one of being the biggest was, you know, depression and gambling. And, you know, when you say you've been, you know, having alcohol addiction for 14 years, and at the age of 14 years old, you should still be probably enjoying, I think, freshman year in high school, right? Like, why are you over here? So it's crazy. So now you get up to the point where you're like, man, all this weight, heaviness, is on you, and you're carrying that into your adult life. How old are you right now?
34.
34. So when was that moment? What age was that moment that you said, shit, I'm carrying around this, I don't like how it feels?
28, when I got sober. I got sober in December 2011.
Good.
And that was a tough year. Had a lot of death in my family. My grandmother died. Then we had like 4 relatives in 1 month just passed away suddenly. And one day I was doing stuff I had no business doing with somebody I had no business doing it with. Ended up at this Christmas party, showed my behind, embarrassed myself and the person. And I woke up that next morning, and I remember what happened, which was rare for me because since the beginning I've been a blackout drinker. So I was used to not remembering what I said or did or, you know, how I got home every night. But this time I remembered everything, and it was like watching a movie that was going in slow motion. And I woke up, I looked in the mirror, and I'm like, who are you? Like, I don't even know who you are. And I was just tired. I was just tired of being a slave to the alcohol, to the package store, man. It got to the point where the package store owners would text me to tell me what was coming in.
Oh, my God.
They knew what I liked so much. It was that bad.
Damn. And so all right, so 28 years old. So you looked in the mirror and you said, nah, I don't even know who this person is. I'm not feeling it. You're on a slippery roller coaster. But here's the thing that I want to ensure, and I got 2 questions to ask you because one of them I've always wondered, and the second one is the roller coaster effect. And I talk about this because when I quit, when I overcame, when I said F you to gambling, I still felt the effects of gambling like every day. Like I was still addicted, still like, oh my God, still trying to fight it, battle it. So from 28 years old, the first day, how long did it take you to really say, you know what? I overcame that thing.
It's taken about 6 years to feel like.
Yeah.
About 6 years to feel like.
Yeah.
Okay.
People don't realize that. Yep. People don't realize that. They think that it's just, oh, you hear somebody's story, oh my God, yeah. That person is still like, when you're on a roller coaster for that long, 14 years, if you're on a roller coaster for 1 minute, the rides are 1 minute, you get off, you got vertigo, right? You start going, oh, shit, you feel like you're still on a roller coaster. Imagine you being on for that long. Of course we're going to feel these effects. Of course we're still going to feel the financial problems, the social problems, all those other effects. of that one thing. So that's a great point, and I'm glad somebody else could prove that, is that you never really, you make the decision that day, but then the real work begins.
Yeah, and it doesn't get easier as you get more time. You just get stronger and more equipped if you're working some sort of program. Because I'll be honest with you, there are consequences from drinking days that I'm still feeling today, but I just understand and know how to deal with them. And I don't let them, oh, my gosh, I'm still dealing with this. I might as well go get drunk. And like, no, then they're done.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Grow up.
Yeah. So what about now? This is another question because I want to just know, because I'm doing like some case study on it. Now, have you not had one lick of alcohol since then?
I wouldn't say that. I was in Spain in March of last year, and Spain is a beautiful country, and they drink a lot in Spain. You can get alcohol anywhere in Spain, anywhere. And we were at like a lounge, kind of hookah lounge situation. I ordered what I thought was a slushie. It was a margarita, but it didn't say margarita. I don't know Spanish, so I was just like, okay. So I tasted it, and I was like, there's alcohol in this. I did tell him, make sure there's no alcohol in it, and there was. I didn't freak out. I didn't like, oh my gosh, now I want to drink. Drinking for me, I have friends, they drink, but no one in my life, no one I have in my circle does anything to excess. So it's just not a thing for me. I don't think about it. I don't make it a priority. I'm like, oh my God, I wish I could do this, because the reality is we could all decide to go back and do what we want to do. So it's just not, it doesn't have the hold that it used to have.
Right. And that
really just because of all the work and everything I'm learning.
Yes. No, you know what, Ray? Because you know what? I always thought that, because I think real growth, real true personal growth, is being able to have a choice within. That shows how powerful you are to say, you know what, I'm so strong I can make this decision. Because if there is a foodaholic, right, there's a foodaholic that bangs out inside the mother, they going in on the hun buns, the shun-shuns, the choo-chooks, and all of a sudden you pull every food away from them. Come on. That doesn't make them grow. It's the choices that make them grow. So if they say, hey, listen, I'm going to have this chook, but I ain't going back down. This thing it's been too long. I ain't doing it. Or, you know what, I can have a glass of wine or not. Some people don't even touch it. Some people cannot go back to the thing. And I get that. And that's their thing. But I always said, your personal choice really says who you are, and that's how you measure growth, with the person's choices. I haven't gone back to gamble. I thought about saying, hey, listen, when I go back to the casino, am I just going to walk past? Am I going to get those feelings again? How do I know? Because most seminar rooms and, my huge goals, right, the 50,000 seat, I got to walk through the damn casino to get back to the back of the room with the convention. So I always put myself in that situation. I'm walking through, and I'm not affected. I know 100% I'm not affected, but until the choice is there, until I say this and that's it, I'm never going to know. And that's just what I wanted to know with, as far as with your growth there, if you ever touched it.
My thing is, and towards like the later I get in sobriety and the more I learn about myself and what I need, I'm still active in therapy and still peeling back layers of myself. I got sober by going to AA. That's how I maintained. I got really involved. It was one of the first communities that I ever felt a part of.
Yeah.
And then towards the end of my time, I actually kind of distanced myself because there were a lot of people and behaviors that were inconsistent with what I felt were my values and beliefs, and just the program that we say we follow. And I get it. People, we're flawed. We're always going to fall short. But some of the things that were occurring were just they were so egregious that I could not find myself to surround I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
And at first I thought, how am I going to do this without them? And everything that I need is within myself. Not saying I don't need other people. I absolutely do. But if I'm doing the right thing, I'm going to find those people. They're going to come.
Yes.
So I just replaced one group of people with a different set of people. And I've had growth both in both communities. I just prefer at this point in my life to really stick with people who are really doing something and really living their life's purpose. I don't want to sit in a room full of, people complaining. And I might all like that. But a lot of it is
one too many, man. One too many complainers. One too many. One is enough. I don't want to hear it. And you have the choice. See, that's the thing. It boils down to this. The choice to say, it's okay. Like, you guys are cool, but I'm good. I'm going to go over here. Like, you have the choice to not go into that restaurant because you have the choice to not eat that meal. You have, like, these choices are the true power of who we are. And you said values and beliefs, and I want to get into personal development because you dived in there. I know you're doing, I don't know, what, CrossFit now? Like, you Arnold on the gym, like what is going on? So we're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I want to know, we have the segment Health, Wealth, and Happiness, and I want to truly talk about. I think we're going to talk about both. We're going to talk about health, and we're going to talk about happiness. So I need to know your definition of happiness because this is a subjective thing, and I don't ever want to give one definition fits all. So what's your definition of happiness? To yourself.
For me, happiness is when I can 100% live in my life's purpose. And it doesn't mean that it necessarily feels good. I used to always equate happiness with a feeling like if I feel good, then I'm happy. And you can feel good without being happy. I realized that. I spent a lot of years feeling good at times, but not ever truly being happy. When I felt what it meant to be happy, no matter what the circumstances were, it's when I found and I knew without a doubt what my life's purpose was, what I was put here for. And during that time, I was going through a lot. But once I found that and set my eyes on that, I was happy no matter what the circumstances. I've done in the last year has been a mess. Been through, was engaged, broke up, had to move, got a new job, leaving that job because it's just too toxic for me. And because I have a choice today on what I deal with. Before, I didn't have that choice because I felt like I had to please people.
Poverty mindset.
I have to stay here because, it's good to stay at a job. You feel like you're tied, and it's just like, I'm not tied to anything that would make me compromise my values and my beliefs. Today, I would rather be without than to have to look at myself because I compromise my values, my beliefs for a paycheck that doesn't even reflect what I'm truly worth.
Boom! Right there. That's a quote right there. Quote, 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 quote. I love it. And I think that's going to be the title of the show. But go ahead. I love it, Raven.
Yeah, I wouldn't have developed this mindset if I hadn't been listening to everyone I've encountered. And I listened to, I think it was in one of the lessons in the Comfort Killers in the academy, where Thelonious, I believe, was saying, like, what, and I think you've said it too, like, what information are you taking in and from whom? When I first got into personal development, I was getting all of this information from all these different sources, and it overwhelmed me.
Yep.
And I took a step back from it because I'm like, whoa, this is too much. People telling me to do too many things.
Too many things.
Those things.
Oh, man.
I need personal development for dummies. I can't with all of this.
Simplify.
Yeah, what I do now on a daily basis, I just Comfort Killer stuff, and I listen to videos on YouTube. I meditate daily. You know, the gym is very important to me. That's another community that's very supportive. I used to be a competitive power lifter. I don't compete so much anymore just because I'm focused on health. Like, health is more important to me than competing with people. Because even that mindset, you have to have a particular mindset when you're competing with people, and I found that it made me less humble. Like, my ego started to run the show.
Of course.
It became about, I need to beat you. And if that was my teammate, it didn't matter. And I was just like, that's not how I want to move. I'd rather take a step back, because in powerlifting, it's something you choose to do. It's not like bodybuilding where you can make money and do all this stuff. I'm never going to be at that elite, and I don't desire that. So I took a step back and I'm like, what are my real health goals? I just want to, like, physically feel good and be healthy, and that's what I focus on every day. And I do something every day that I hate. There's David Goggins. Mm-hmm. He does all of these extreme kind of feats of strength, and he talks about, I do them because they're hard and I don't like them, and I know those are the very things that are going to push me and keep pushing me. And so I started to do that. Like, I do the things that I hate the most, the things that I'm not good at. Because it's easy to put out there, on social media, oh, I did this, and look at me, I look so great. But what about when things are falling apart? People go real silent, and I'm not about that. I can go either way. I want to be that transparent with people, because I want people to see that this journey is messy. You got to get dirty. You can't be afraid to cry. You can't be afraid to say, I'm hurting. The world tells us it's not okay to do those things, and that's why you have so many addicts out here, alcoholics, and people that are just chronically trying to medicate what they need to feel that's really going to move their lives in the direction that they need to go. And that's the single most valuable lesson I've learned from you and from everyone at Comfort Killers, is that comfort will kill your dream. It will kill your goals. It will have you just every day being on autopilot.
Yep. And afraid of change. And, Raven, I'm here trying to remember, I believe it was a little bit over a year ago or close to a year, where we had a conversation. And you are not the same person I was on the phone with, first of all. Okay. So that growth took that time. And I always love to see I love looking at change and trying to look at that and say, what does change look like? Because people really don't recognize change. They only see when one has changed, right? They only see, and that's why the journey is so important to me, and putting that out there, like, yo, stick with the journey, because that's the true success. Like, people always like, yo, where's the destination? Yo, I'm trying to get here. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to hurry up. No, but they're losing out the real personal growth. So I've noticed, first of all, your communication has it's so positive. So, like, even the way you fixate these sentences in what you're saying to me, okay, like, okay, well, and I'm going to just bring apart when you said, hey, listen, I'm not going to be elite. And then you caught yourself because, you can't be elite, right? Whatever, okay? Yeah. But you switched and said, I have no desire. And then you said, hey, listen, when you compete, it does something with your ego, puts you in that competition mode, and I don't have any desire. So even just how you're framing what's coming out of you from thought into voice, that's how this whole attraction thing has been working. And I could tell, honestly, because there was a lot of I don't knows before, right? I don't know what's the purpose. I don't know if I could find that. I'm trying. That I'm trying to do this. You know what I mean? So even just having this conversation, I guess, straight up out to the world, you could see what could happen if you stick with it and stick with a journey. A personal development plan is all you need. And I'm glad you brought up you stop listening to everybody. Because you will be confused, and you're not even yourself when you listen to everyone and you adopt all these different things. It's not you. You can't, you know what I mean? So I even had to learn that lesson. You know, when I first came in, Ray, it was straight up, well, I was thirsty for it. I was hungry for it. So I just wanted it from everywhere, every angle. Give it to me. I ain't going back to the casino. You know what I mean? Then I realized, but every level you learn something else. Like I'm at a whole completely different level now where I'm trying to learn, you know, more about these inner feelings and how these feelings attract, deflect, resist, but also thinking way bigger than I was before. So there's always something to grow on. I think I'm going to grow all the way to the grave, and that's really what personal development is, growing to the grave. There's no destination. So I just wanted to mention that, yes, I saw and I feel and I'm hearing a definitive change, and you're speaking with purpose now and passion and position and growth and all these things. So, first of all, congrats. I want to first, if I was there, I'd give you a big-ass hug. But I'm not. But we're going to hug each other over the waves. But, it's a blessing just seeing that growth because I know it and I could feel it. So congratulations.
Thank you. And thank you for doing what you do. I think people don't realize the effect they can have on individuals' lives if they just do what they're supposed to do. And because you never gave up on you and because you're so steadfast in how you move in the world, it's impacted me, not just me, tons of other people. And these transformations are just going to keep happening. And they need to happen because people need to know that 9-to-5 grind, that, I just need to make more money, I just need to do this and my life will be better. It's like, no, you can be present right now no matter what's going on and be okay.
Boom!
And
another quote.
I being a comfort killer, walking down the street when I have the shirt on, someone always asks me, what does that mean? And I tell them, and they look at me like, that's nice, you keep up the good work. And it's just like, I will, I'll keep doing what I do, and I'll keep preaching it to people. Not preaching it to people, just sharing it with people.
Yeah. And that's why. And thank you for that, because you don't know that this came at a timely thing when we're revamping the company's look and reach and revamping what the programs that I put out there and get it back to an uncomfortable place for me. And so this is definitely that graduation, congratulations piece for me and growth of the Comfort Killers, and we're moving on to the next level of it. We'll probably use this podcast as a way to share it to the world, what we're doing. But I want to thank you because, the company really, and it was only, I did it selfishly in the beginning. I just wanted to stop gambling. So I created a company to spend my time doing something else other than gambling. But now we got to make it a company. We got to make it reach the masses and become the #1 personal development company, not because we're throwing things at you, not because there's more things you got to do, because we want you to peel away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And take away and open up and freaking and really discover. It's like a self-discovery process here at the Comfort Killers.
It absolutely is. And I'm fortunate and I'm blessed to have been introduced to you through Frank Sagasa, who's just a wonderful man and was pivotal in the beginning of my journey because he held me accountable. He gave me no wiggle room for excuses. And those are the sort of things I started to throw out instead of, I'm going to try. There's either you're doing or you're not doing.
Yep.
Trying is another word for failure. I'm going to give it the bare minimum. I'm going to fail because I'm just trying. I'm not putting forth my full effort. And then I can complain all I want. Yeah, my complaints are very to a minimum. If I catch myself complaining, I'm just like, knock it off. You're so blessed. I know people in some dire situations.
Yes.
And they don't complain.
Yep.
So I just can't give myself that pass.
You know what, Raven? You've been so amazing. Since we're speaking now to the people that are listening, the audience, and I know they're saying, man, Raven, I have this issue, I have this problem and problems are just kind of facts. I started not even calling things problems, but let's say, to speak the language, I have this problem, I have this concern. The personal development is very key. You say you meditate, you say you hit the gym. What are some techniques? Read a lot. All right, so give us your 2 books right now. Give us your development plan. Help other people out.
Right now, I'm reading A Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl.
Viktor Frankl, The Perception is Everything. That book is boom.
And I'm actually reading your book, so I no lie. I'm not saying that because I'm on the podcast. I really am reading it. So.
We don't got to front. We don't front like 2 cross-eyes. It is what it is. It's happening. She's reading my book. She's reading Viktor Frankl, though. It's very important, and maybe I'll have the next podcast show. I'll speak about the story about Viktor Frankl, and we could go from there. So you read. What else do you do? And the reading is very important because it opens you up to different consciousness levels and perceptions, only because the authors have left a tiny bit of themselves in these books. And you can really gather that and open that. I love books. I love the smell of them. I am a reader. What else do you do?
I recently, to get even more out of my comfort zone, because I'm pretty introverted, I like being by myself and just being with me, journaling and reading and studying and doing all of that. But I was like, you can't that's not how you should live. So I started to join different meetup groups around my interests, and I've met some really good people, some really nice people. So that's something that pushes me, going to Toastmasters every 2 weeks. I haven't spoke there yet, but I'm going to, the next challenge, the issue, I'm going to just throw my hat in the ring and do it. So I do that. I love going to movies. I read a lot of comic books when I was a kid because I just was by myself all the time. So any Marvel movie that comes out, any Star Wars movie that comes out, I'm there.
Yeah.
And
so you're finding you enjoy that.
Oh, yeah. I have fun every day. I have something every day. And that wasn't my life for a long time. And it's just like, life can never be that serious. We're going to have challenges and situations, but they have start times and end times. People sometimes behave and act as if they're always going to be in have a financial issue. Work at it. You may always have a financial issue if you continue to not address what has you in the financial issue. And that's I just ended a financial fast. And I realized how I just spent my money however I wanted to, didn't pay attention. And now that I have a budget and I'm actually paying attention, it's really put the brakes on me making purchases that were just unnecessary.
Yeah.
So I just took my power back by seeking the information that's available to everybody. And that's the thing. All of this information is available to people. It's right at your fingertips. People would rather spend time on Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and not Google something that could really just transform their lives, or not try to join a group on Facebook that can help them with, if they have weight loss, if that's what they are into.
And stick to that. And stick to that thing.
Stick to it.
And stick to that. But the one thing, you see what I'm saying? So if it's weight loss, you stick to that weight loss, but then other things will happen through that weight loss that you will start opening up. You don't have to do 100 different groups. People, when they come in my group and the Comfort Killers group on Facebook, and I can see they are in 500 other groups, I know they're not going to, it's done. It's done. It's curtains for them, That's just a trendy hopper that's looking for the next quickest route or the next quickest. Listen, as Raven said, man, 28 years old, to about this year where she felt the effects, to about this year where she could finally say, I'm good, 100, like I feel good. I know my choices. I know my power. I pull my power back. I'm in control. So, yes, it's going to take time, but stick with one thing consistently over time, and you will see the changes, and other parts of you will change too. Just because you're doing weight loss, watch your communication change. When you're doing weight loss, watch your spiritual growth change. When you don't, there's so much power in the one thing when you stick to it. It's amazing. Raven,
Absolutely.
one thing before we leave, because we're going to sign out right now.
Okay.
Okay? Your younger version of yourself, you're 15 years old. Now, turn around and tell that Raven something and just hope that she would listen. So now you're talking to your younger self, let's say 15, 16 years old. What are you telling Raven?
You're worth it. That simple. You're worth it. I didn't feel like I was. I had, during that time was an awkward time for me. I tried to kill myself. One of my friends actually did. And all I needed to hear is someone to tell me my life was worth it. And I'm glad I realized that it is.
Well, and with quantum physics and spirituality and us just being able to move the universe dynamically through vibrations and energy, you probably did just save your own life and not even know it. You just probably did, at 28, look in that mirror through that and say you looked up. Who was that? That was you. You know what I mean? And so sometimes we don't have to go look outside for the Savior or look outside for, hope. Everything that we have inside, we can use it. And it's not just a part of my book. I really mean that 100%. All the resources we have in, And thank you, Raven. I mean, you are truly, I think I sent you a certificate.
You did.
You went through.
I have it.
Yeah, you went through the Comfort Killers.
I did, and I'm still going back through lessons, and I'll have some time off before I go, jump into a new job, and that's what I'm focusing on, just myself and my stuff and what I want to do, because my goal is to start building my own brand and get into speaking more. That's my next step. That's my next.
But
the next
honestly,
step for me.
Yeah, but isn't it the natural most next action that you could take versus if your mind ain't right? See, people they want to skip the part where they need that other part, right? The growing, the pain, the hurt, the cry, the get up, try again, the fail. Oh my God, I'm feeling it. I'm not. You have to try that. You have to go through that part before you can get to this next step. And your next step is like, okay, now I'm ready to build this personal brand.
Yeah, and it's a process, and there's steps, and there's a lot of work. You just can't skip the steps. You can't pass go. Life is on the roll with it.
Don't hit us with another quote, Raven. Don't hit us with another quote, Raven. You gave us too much.
Okay.
Raven, I am proud. I am happy, and again, you are truly the definition of what a comfort killer is, who a comfort killer is, and we're going to keep going into the future. And, I look forward to even extending an invitation for you to speak at our first event here in Philly. So keep your eyes open. Ladies and gentlemen, Comfort Killers Worldwide, this is Raven Hodge. This is what personal development is all about. You can feel it. You can hear it. You can see it. It's everywhere, and as she said in the beginning, opportunities just keep coming. That's how she is now. She's a magnet because she opened herself up to the universe. She's vulnerable to the universe, and we we receive, we allow, and the universe loves when you're honest, you're true, and you're just going moving forward, and you're prancing on each day, and you're not getting held back by those negative thoughts. You keep going. You recognize them. You observe them. You say, hey, thank you, but no thank you, and you keep moving forward. So, Raven Hodge, I love you, honestly, like a sister. And we will keep in touch. If you have any questions for Raven, all the information is in the show notes. You could get it. This has been a spectacular conversation with Raven Hodge. Thank you.
You've just listened to a episode of the Stacy A Cross Show. You can subscribe and get more episodes on my website, stacyacross.com, and my company's website, thecomfortkillers.com. As always, you can get me on all my social media at Stacy A Cross. Go ahead and subscribe, and we will see you next week. I am.